Hello friends and welcome to my video and this video was requested by Ram Dikshit. So thank you Ram for the topics you have mentioned, and in this video I will be covering two important topics, which is ear training and how to compose a solo. So I'll be precise with the points so that we don't waste much of time, and also the buffering goes very easy for you guys there. So let's start with ear training. Well, let me tell you one thing before I start, that there's no fixed way to deal with one theory or one aspect of music, especially guitaring, because people approach that in different ways and they have their different ideas behind it, and which works well for them. So what worked well for me, I would like to share it with you, and I hope it brings some benefit to you. So ear training is that you need to listen and to play what you listen exactly, like you can execute what exactly you're listening. So for that, to have a good ear training, I believe that you should listen and locate on your fretboard. Like when I started, I was not able to understand any scale. I never knew any scale because I never learned guitar anywhere. When I was 6 years old, I just used to listen to some melody and somehow I was able to play that in a very compact one place, and I didn't knew what is exactly it is, what scale it is, and what technical part of it. I never knew about that. So later when I realized that, oh, there is something called major scales, there's something called minor scales, X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. So I say that the point number one is to listen to a melody and to locate it on the fretboard. It can be possible also with one single note and also with a short phrase. So let's take like a C note basically. It's a C note. Now it's in your head and also it's in your guitar. So it's like matching. So you need to just locate it wherever possible you can. So after doing that, you can take a small phrase like a short sort of a lick or 2-3 notes and just try to play the same way, you know. So in that way you will actually relate. Your fingers will be in sync with your mind. Then you can go with a more longer phrases or maybe a song. But prior to ear training, I believe and I suggest that you should know a basic set of scales like major scales or minor scales or maybe pentatonics, or some kind of little theory background is essential for that. And the most important factor to develop a good ear training is to know the sounds, because I'm very sure that when you listen to some different songs, you might think that what chord progression is that, what scale should I play on that, and blah blah blah. So I believe that if you know the intervals, you'll be able to trace out what sounds like what it sounds exactly on the song, and why the song is sounding, because it's based on a key, it's based on a tonic note, tonic root key, and it has a progression, a chord progression, which is basically due to some intervals chosen and some notes which are omitted from the skeletal of 12 notes. I'm sure you must be knowing the 12 notes, which is A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and it's like 12 chromatic succession notes. So let's start with the intervals, and each and every note in the chromatic path defines one kind of tonality and one kind of sound. So I would like to bring you that in your notice that we'll take a simple C major scale, but I will be playing the C to C chromatic path, that is. So each note in that 12 notes has a tonality and is termed as a particular interval. So here we go. It's a root, C is the root, then minor second, then you move half step higher, that's a C sharp. So root, minor second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, fourth sharp or fifth flat, then perfect fifth sharp, that's basically you can say augmented, or minor sixth, the major sixth, dominant 7, then major 7, and the root again. Once again, root, minor second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, sharp fourth, perfect fifth, then minor sixth or the augmented fifth. You can write it as a 5 plus also, and the major sixth, the best way is that when you start playing it, gradually you will get it. You need to just hum the note and also to locate that, and just to play that. So in that way you will realize that there is a lot possibility which you will discover, and I'll show you how exactly you can do that. Suppose if I take a chord which is like a C and a C sharp, so I will play on this progression something, then I'll play C and D minor 7, then I'll play on C and D sharp. So here we go, and you see the changes what occurs basically on the intervals. So C to C sharp, so you got the point. Like when I was playing C to C sharp, the sound was different. C to D minor 7, like that's first root to the second major second, sound was different. Then to the minor third, sound was different. So this sound, what we hear is basically based on these intervals, like the transition between the notes and also the intervals which are located within the scale. That's why the scale takes the name which is like pentatonics, major, minor, because they have a fixed skeletal after omitting certain notes and after choosing certain notes from the 12 notes. That's how you get that particular tonality. So I think this would be precisely good enough for ear training. That number 1 point. Listen to the melody and locate the note, and establish that phrase or a melody or a note on your guitar, and also find out the scales. That's why I said that you should know a bit of scales before doing ear training, because somewhere it's not just necessary to play what you hear, but you should know that where it lies and what scale it's based on. So it's very important. And again, as I said, that interval training is again very important for ear training and for any other purpose as well, because the songs will sound in a different modes, so they have different progressions, and progressions are based on different intervals. And lastly, sing and play. You can alternate with that, so that will really help you a lot. I hope this segment helps you a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Hi there, welcome back, and this is the second section of ear training and how to compose a solo. This video was requested by Ram Dikshit, and in this segment I will be talking about how to compose a solo, which was the second part of the entire section. So as I said that in my earlier video, as I said that there's no fixed way to approach one theory or a particular solo or a kind of a fundamental, because people have different ideas and approaches to achieve that, and that's how it works well for them, so they opt for that. But there are a couple of pointers which will help you out in describing your expression through your instrument very well, and I hope it benefits you. Also, it's very easy, it's not at all difficult. It just the basic vocabulary has to be practiced well. So the first point is that learn a scale on which you are planning to design a solo. So suppose if I'm planning to design a solo on E minor, I should know E minor very well though. And also one thing you must understand and realize, that if there is a set of progression, you need to understand that what works well with those chords. It's not necessary that if it is E minor, C and D, it's not necessary that you can play just E minor all throughout and it will sound very monotonous after a point of time. So rather than, if you are not having too much of scales in your pocket, it's better to have those addressing notes out of that tonic scale. So whenever the chord comes, you have to give that resolution on that particular timing and on that chord out of that scale. And also it's important to play with the beat. So I recommend that whenever you're designing a solo, obviously you'll have some kind of pulse in your mind or some kind of rhythmic vocabulary in your mind. So always take a drum machine or a metronome, or I think probably a drum track could be a better idea, and play on that. So that will give you more discipline, and that will give you more better tangent to achieve what you're looking for, the kind of sound, because you will be more disciplined, and your licks and your phrase and even your scale, if you will play, it will be very timed, it will not go off compound. So that's the point. And again, compose a short phrase. Think of a phrase, you can sing that phrase and line it up across, or you can take one style, like it's just a sort of a style kind of a motive, or you can take like a small melody like da 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 da, and you can play the entire melody like da 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 all over the fretboard. And I suggest that you treat the entire scale as one and the entire fretboard as one single scale unit. It will help you to explore better, play better, and you'll be not in that mental danger of going out and off beat. So you'll be not restricted to one place. You can enjoy playing anywhere you like. So suppose if I'm talking about E minor, so it is so basically this is just like E minor. So it enables you to understand that melodic playground, and you can just move anywhere, even though suppose at times you're not thinking, you know, sometimes your fingers just work and the mind is not working and it's not in sync with the fingers, but still you will be in the melody. You will not be out of the melody if you know your scale and the positioning very well, the shapes very well, which we can talk about later in detail. So here's one short example based on E minor, and what I'll do is that I will first play the scale as the scale, and then I'll play with the beat, whatever the timing is in that, and then I will add some expression by adding hammer-ons or pull-offs and some bits of little techniques, or probably the whammy bar, and try to compose and come up with some melody line, a short melody line, which I will try to repeat so that it makes my solo more established, and I have some kind of hook line for the listener to recall, and then I can make, you know, a complicated phrase and things like that. So here we go. Let's see how it works well. So this is the E minor riff, and I'm just now showing you a basic E minor scale, but the idea is over all fretboard. idea is basically that what I did is simple stuff, that E minor, just the scales, fiddling around, and I thought of a melody, and it went anywhere I can play the same thing. Then I added some bits of little technical stuff. So overall, when you jam with the beat or jam with the particular rhythm pulse, you'll get close to what you're looking for, the kind of sound. It depends, you know, on what kind of sound also you look for. Like if you're planning to play a heavy metal solo, if you're planning to play a jazzy solo, or probably some very soft, a few notes or more of notes, shred or whatever, it's better to design and come up with short phrases, and then you can compile them also together. They'll sound good, and knowing the scale is very important, and playing with the beat is very important, and also composing something in your mind and executing that is what probably makes your solo more deserving and better. And I hope you enjoy this section of the video. I will be posting some new videos very soon, and thank you so much for watching. Pleasure.